our criteria is working with people who have autism or suspected autism, learning disabilities or suspected learning disabilities, and ADHD or suspected ADHD. So we do a full diagnostic offer for all of those things, but often people don't make it to that point in their journey. If they do, and if they've got a diagnosis, we start to do some of the intervention work that we do. If they don't make it, we are running a safe and well plan in parallel so that they get that. As we learn about their needs, we include their needs in a plan that they can use while we're working towards diagnosis. So if they're released ahead of time, they still will have a plan that will help them understand what we've done and what we've learned together. So you can find that you've got a person who a learning disability has been suspected for years and years and years and never defined. So we do try and pin that down, particularly because learning disability is one of the things where if we identify that, you will get a different offer on release. For autism and ADHD, sometimes there's not going to be a lot of difference to what we can actually make happen or change in terms of service provision. We can make a lot of difference in terms of how people understand you and how you understand yourself, but there isn't a load of money thrown at these things to be able to make it different. With a person with a learning disability, we can start to try and look at the support system around a person. We can refer into community learning disability teams. We can look at this kind of supported living that somebody might need. So it does make quite a big difference if we get that right, but we will only get any of that if we diagnose a learning disability properly in the prison situation, setting. Absolutely no doubt that we should have a head injury service in prisons. The issue is that it needs quite a lot of specialism around it. So it most definitely needs things like neuropsychology, neuropsychiatry, and it's expensive and it has not been commissioned at all. And it doesn't just slot into what we do because it needs some expertise that we don't have. We've tried to balance kind of looking at differences and celebrating differences, but also identifying needs with the idea of kind of making sure that we do work towards kind of diagnostic confirmation that people might need to achieve the service and support that they need on release. And we found that if we work on a needs basis only and we don't get into assessment and defining needs, that will mean that the person isn't heard, particularly not if they've got a criminal record. The last thing that's going to be listened to is somebody saying, well, I just need a few sensory adjustments, but nobody defining why. So we really have felt quite trapped into a medical model that we wouldn't choose by design, but because that has been led by the people we work with, not just by the fact that we are a health service. You know, we feel like the added value that we bring is to bring that confirmation and that kind of clarification that people need and ask for themselves.